times here on the podcast, but it's definitely real talk, and you know the whole R&B thing. Not to get too much into the topic, but it's just like that's like my favorite brand of music right now.
I'm
I gotta
excited.
be real with you.
I'm excited for
Definitely.
R&B, man. I'm excited for it. What we gonna start with today? Let's start with the Jim Jones show.
No doubt.
Start with that because we both saw it individually, and we were like, "Yo, you hear about what Jim Jones said? What this military dude on? It was crazy."
Yeah.
So they were online, and I see something about a Jim Jones caption that says, "Is this opinion or facts? I need answers, y'all." Like I said, being a rapper is number one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet. I was like, whoa, okay. So this is what happened. He said, it was a gentleman by the name of Mr. A.M. Core. That might mean, I don't know what that means, but
Right.
he said, heard the comments you made about being a rapper is harder than fighting a war in Iraq. You're allowed to have your opinion without any facts nor truth to it. But as a vet and hip hop fan, I found it extremely disrespectful and ignorant. Here are some facts. My unit, which fought in Iraq in 2004, lost more Marines in 2 months than rappers in past 3 years. Keep talking about there is zero comparison. Keep talking, but there's zero comparison. Wow. Okay. Very strong statement from somebody who's out there losing people. Can appreciate it. Well, this was Jim Jones' response. Let me put this bigger for me so I can see it. All right, here we go. Here are the facts. Every nigga I grew up with is either dead or in jail. So you want to compare death tolls and won't add. You went to the army and met niggas you never knew or grew up with. I grew up with all these niggas all my life. So it hit different. You want to continue this debate. Y'all was shooting at kids and innocent bystanders in the midst of shooting at the enemy. We was kids shooting at kids. And that mentality split over to success. Remember, you knew who your enemies were. We don't, and everybody knows who we are because of our notoriety. So how you protect yourself from enemies you can't see? We are all the same uniform. Everybody is drippy. But y'all had American uniforms on, and the enemy had their uniform on. You had the choice of going to war. We was at war when we was born. Let the church say, amen.
Woo.
Oh, God, what you thought? That shit was little as hell. That was not easy to read, but I got through it.
It's like, man, I don't think it should be being debated. I think there's points on both sides, and I think both were situations. But I do agree partially with some things that Jim Jones said, and I do partially agree with some of the things that the other one said. Now, mainly what I agree with Jim Jones is like people are born into this. You know what I mean? His lifestyle and whatnot. And if I'm not, he said rappers. He ain't saying just people in the hood. He said rappers as being like Jim Jones, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Than talking about your average kid, growing up, in the hood. But for the most part, yeah, rappers get killed. They do things like that. They can get caught up in some beef. But for the most part, I mean, what we see is them living lavish, popping bottles. They're living in the best places in the United States of America. 6-7 car garages, they're multi-millionaire. So I don't know how you could compare that, to people who, are getting roadside bombs and things. Because the thing is, like, we see things on the TV, and it's one thing, but to actually know people and talk to people who have actually served, and I know people watching this probably got family members or friends that actually served. It's a whole different ball game than just seeing it on TV what CNN is showing you. It's real. And they go through some real stuff and they come back and they are suffering real illnesses, mental illnesses, no different than in America. Now, Jim Jones is going to be like, kids in the ghetto of America, that's like, being in Iraq. Then I could say, all right, we can compare them. But a rapper, I can't give Jim that one.
Yeah, no, I hear you and I agree on that as well. When I think, in my opinion, what Jim is elaborating on is that rapper, where he comes from in that environment he has to live through. That young kid, like you were referring to, that young black boy, black girl in the ghetto who has to deal with certain things that they were born into, never given an opportunity to have a choice on what's going on. And when you do find a level of success, whether that be an athlete, whether that be a rapper shit, whether that be a drug dealer, you got to look over your shoulder because somebody's envious of that. And once you spot, you never know where that's coming from. On the military side, I 100% understand where that man's coming from, signing up for something, but walking into a situation where hey, you could lose your brother, you could lose somebody you care about that's looking over your back and loving you that day, and the kind of trauma that can come from that. I know real motherfuckers who were both out there on the street and both in the military, and were proud to be in both. I don't think that they would sit back and fairly compare the two right now, because they both know it's totally different environments and totally different things. Even though you look at some of the inner cities, Philadelphia being right here close to us, we got Atlantic City right here, we got Camden out here. We hear the things that go on out here. Mm-hmm. You see the death tolls, even though they've decreased as of late, thank God. When you talk about 2016, 17, 18, it was something going on out here like a war zone. So you can't sit back and have somebody that lived in them situations not have me hear them on their argument that this is a war zone. But I also understand the military's aspect. And like you said in the beginning of your conversation, the beginning of your excuse me, I don't think the two are comparable.
Nah, it's kind of like, it's a hard thing to really to compare. I mean, it's both messed up behind situations. Like we wish nobody had to go through these type of situations. But yeah, I won't want to be caught, in Iraq, nowhere like that, and get a roadside bomb or whatever like this, or thing we seen in movies and we heard the stories. We have family members, close family members who served in real wars, out there. So never really wanted to talk about it and glamorize it too much, though. From my opinion, I've seen. I worked with a guy years back who was an older gentleman, but he fought in Vietnam, so how old he was, and he ain't really want to get into it too much because it was like the memories of it, which is like it just wasn't a good thing. He didn't want to reiterate that again. So
I can only imagine. Man.
Definitely,
it could be. Hey, hopefully y'all boy don't keep getting into shit. I mean, never mind. Remember when we were supposed to, but then all of a sudden the next week happened. It was the Democratic debates, and I remember when we were supposed to go through shit with Iran. What happened with that?
I don't know. That was kind of crazy. Like,
here today, going tomorrow.
I mean, that don't mean ain't nothing going on behind the scenes because the news ain't covering it. But it's kind of weird. Yeah, nobody. I mean, you got to turn in Tel Aviv or whatever shit is called, Al Qaeda, whatever the name of them stations is, and shit over there. Al Jazeera. My bad, I said Al Qaeda.
Check the fire stick and shit. See if you got that on that joint.
Yeah,
the
man.
Al Jazeera station.
Young Turks might be talking about it, but nah, it's something that definitely disappeared. But yeah, man, I don't know that. But you hear people like Meek Mill that'll say the same type of things, like. But then, like, it's something like, have you ever been in Iraq?
Right.
Have you ever held the gun, had to walk through them deserts? Because them deserts like 130.
Word.
So, you know what I mean? You got to wear all this gear. It's a different element over there. So I think that both factions could appreciate what each other had to go through. Like if Meek and these people that was rappers had to go and be in the army and stuff and deal with those conditions, they would appreciate it.
Fact.
If you took the army cats and put them in the hood, they would appreciate it. Like, yo, this shit's crazy.
Word.
So yeah, I mean, ain't nothing to really compare, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, man, shout out to Jim Jones. And even him at least having the dialogue, back and forth, man, with the guy.
That's the dope thing about social media, even though I suggest don't even read them shits. But that was a dope. Homeboy came respectful. Right. He came with a good comment, valid comment, and I think it was a great debate.
Definitely. I want to talk about Oakland rapper Kafani, man. Kafani declares his innocence after being arrested over a loan scam the other day. Now, the story broke a couple of days ago that Oakland rapper, Kafani pretty much was arrested in a multi-million-dollar fraud ring. Pretty much said that he took loans out on victims' names and used the money to do things like that. Now, the FBI pretty much ran down on him. And what got him caught, SamAnt, as they said, in California, he pretty much ordered $24,000 worth of gold bars. That alerted the FBI, and they went in and they found him, and they had enough from following those guys around with informants and stuff to get a conviction. Not a conviction yet, but to get him arrested. So I want to play what rapper Kafani said.